Right, welcome back everybody to Monster Hunter.
All right.
We are going to finally start making progress. Got a couple more things left to do. We gotta do this blue Rathalos. We gotta do basil geese. And then I think from there, I'm gonna move on to doing the elder dragons, starting with Nergigante. Who, if you've been paying attention to any of my, well, I shouldn't say if you've been paying attention. If you guys have been watching all the episodes that I've been recording that I haven't actually posted because I don't think they're worth your time. Excuse me. You should have been there. No. What I mean to say is, I've been collecting a lot of, you see any blue, what do they call those? Shine sprites or whatever, these little bugs that come out of my pouch that direct me to monster part, or not monster parts, like things like snow herbs and collectible areas and monster tracks is the word I'm looking for. So I'm looking, if you see it turn blue instead of this green yellow color, that means that it's an elder dragon track. They randomly pop up as I'm exploring these areas. So I've been doing a lot of grinding off camera, and I've been collecting a lot of these tracks just sort of randomly. So between you know, the Raytheon, the blue, the Azure Rathalos, the pink Raytheon, and then there's a black Diablos I don't think I've shown yet, but between those three, I've been picking up random tracks that have been question mark, and I'm pretty sure they're Elder Dragon tracks. There's, in addition to Nergigante, there's 3 more Elder Dragons that you have to beat before you can complete this game, or you can get to the quote-unquote final boss of the vanilla. So I've been collecting those tracks, and the hope is that when we get past Nergigante, we're just going to slide straight into the other Elder Dragons. Now that being said, I'll put a pause here. That being said, if I'm not there, you probably won't know the difference because I'll just go off screen and get the extra tracks I need to spawn those missions. But I've been sort of piddling around with some of these monsters like this Azure Rathalos and partly because these guys are a lot tougher. Azure Rathalos, once you get used to him, you just sort of know exactly what he's going to do. Every time he roars, the first thing he's going to do is he's going to take off and do a fire attack like that. So as soon as he roars, as soon as you possibly can, start rolling backwards. He's very aggressive in the sky. You can knock him out. I think I may have mentioned before, the difficulty of Azure Rathalos is how much time he spends in the air. If he spends a lot of time in the air, it's going to be a very difficult fight. If he doesn't spend as much time in the air, it's a relatively easy fight to do. But get to my overall point. We're running into the hardest monsters in the game, which are I'll throw regular Rathalos in there as well if you want, but definitely the Azure Rathalos, Diablos, Black Diablos, Devil Joe, which was actually a monster they added after the fact, but they put it in vanilla, so I have to run into it now instead of after I beat the Elder Dragons. And then, what's the other one I'm forgetting? Shoot. We just talked about him just a second ago. I don't remember. I don't know why I keep forgetting names. Basil geese. There it is. The dive bombing monster. He's not terribly difficult, but when he's got those little bomb pods underneath of his neck, he's a pain in the butt. But the nice thing about him is I think he's not as difficult to trip as other monsters like this Rathalos is. Rathalos sort of hard to trip, so even if we do a ton of damage to his legs, it takes a while before he trips. And then I'm unlikely to... I'll probably have him dead before I trip him 2 more times. We'll see. But, one of the things that I've been sort of I guess I overestimated was what kind of armor I needed to have, what kind of weapons I needed to have. So I was complaining probably a couple episodes ago about saying I'm spending more time grinding off screen than I am actually recording episodes, because I'll spend, you know, I'll sit down and record for 2 hours or so and get 4 episodes out of that. And then I'll spend 3 days, you know, 4 hours, 3-4 hours a day. Well, 2 to 3 hours, I guess I should say, at least, per day, not counting weekends. I've been grinding out, monster parts, trying to complete the armors, even though really, truly, and honestly, a lot of the armors I collected early on aren't really going to serve me any good purpose, but I don't know. I was feeling very much like better safe than sorry. Like, I'd rather have both sets of Pookie armor in the off chance that I need the arms or legs for some purpose, than to not collect all of the armor and be like, oh man, I really wish I had this specific piece of armor that would fit into my build a little bit better. But you're gonna see most of the stuff that we're doing here is gonna be based around some of the late game monsters that we've been fighting. The Rathalos, the Legiana, Odogaron is another one. And then anything in the Elder's Recess, whether that be the Dodogma, or Urgon, or Lavatos, those are all set you up very well for fighting Elder Dragons, because they are both very strong base armor, and most of them do not have weakness to dragon, with the exception of maybe Urgon. I'm not 100% sure on that, but both Lavatos and Dogma don't have any necessary positives, but they don't have any negative attributes when it comes to dragon element. So. And then, of course, the other end of this is strong weapons. You can certainly, I guess, go and try and fight, an Elder Dragon with, like, level 1, level 2 armor. I don't know how well that's going to go for you. But by keeping up with the current level and ability to continue to upgrade my weapons as I find new monsters, I'm definitely doing myself a favor, because I'm saving myself time per round. So right now I'm running an electric sword, which Rathalos are bad against. They're not super bad against like they are with dragon, but I seem to have better weapons that are non-dragon element right now. Later on I might have better dragon element weapons. One more. And shock trap. Turn to headquarters. As I mentioned earlier, there's a debate whether it's better to capture or to kill. Really what should happen is if you kill the monster, you should get better rewards, because you have to go through this last section where you actually have to finish off the monster. Whereas once he gets tired and he gets to a certain level of health, I just drop 2 trank bombs and a capture capsule, and poof, he's done. The fight's over. I don't have to accidentally cart one last time because the monster got a second wind and I got carted and lost some of my rewards because of it.
It's almost time.
It's almost time. Yes. So those of you who've been looking forward to me getting to the Elder Dragon, I apologize. We're going to be there in about an episode or two. But for right now, I did want to finish off some of these optional quests. I may do... There are event quests I didn't realize I was accumulating. So I may go into the event quest hub and start doing... Make sure I've got all those done. Some of those give you, like, unlockable weapons. Or, I'll give you an example. There's one about Shamos'. That'll give you a sort of like a... It's not a pirate eye patch, but it's kind of like a bandana, and it goes over your one eye, and you do that by beating this Shamos high level quest like 2 or 3 times. And then there's one for Mega Man as well, where you fight a big Odogaron, small Odogaron, you know. And then of course you see the little exclamation point on the screen here. The lady gave me a quest I've already completed recently, so this was probably another event quest I did. Challenger mantle, yeah. This was something. I don't know why I got that, but she gave me a quest to do in the optional thing, I'm sure, and I did it. So there's 2 left. There's one for one for Basil Geese, one for Devil Joe, but we've already done Devil Joe, so we're just gonna do Basil Geese. I'll do, if I feel up to it, I'll do Devil Joe offline, and then we'll just move on with our lives. It's not that I don't want to do Devil Joe, it's just that you gotta be pretty well prepared for Devil Joe, otherwise he's gonna wreck your day. I didn't do too bad the first time I fought him, but I kind of cheated with the cheater armor. I could probably, if I had, with the armors I have now, I probably put something together that'll help me stand up against the Devil Joe, but after we get past the initial Elder Dragons, what they start doing is they start introducing, because there was a time period between where Vanilla was essentially fully out and people had completed Vanilla Monster Hunter, and they weren't quite ready to pick up the expansion. You know, the expansion hadn't come out yet. So there's sort of a period between high rank and master rank. And in that time period, they started putting out tempered monsters. There's another thing that they put out, but we're not going to worry about it. It was a special big girl monster that was made of gold, and it was more of a team battle thing where you would take runs at this monster and you'd wear it down, and once it was defeated by a team, everybody that was participating in this hunt, whether you participated just in the first portion of the hunt or you participated in the killing portion of the hunt, everyone would get rewarded once the monster was put down. But anywho, this thing was called, what is it called? It's got a name, Kaltarov or something. I'm bad at names, I'm sorry. I know exactly what it looks like. It's big, it's got a big golden, like cape, like thing. It crawls on all 4 and it's got these huge fucking horns. And that's sort of the what is it? The goal of the mission is to break these 2 golden horns. Which is difficult because, you know, she's standing up most of the time, so you can't get at the horns, so you have to knock her over, and only when she's knocked over can you actually go ham on those horns, and then you would more than likely run out of time, even if you're running a whole team of people. But is what it is. I'm not gonna dwell on it too much. I don't really want to waste my time on it, particularly now that a lot of people have obviously moved on, not only from Monster Hunter World, but from Monster Hunter Rise. You know, we're up in to or is Rise? I don't know. Monster Hunter Wilds was the most recent one. So we may go back to Monster Hunter Wilds at some point. I don't know. And based on the way this particular recording has gone, with as many episodes as I've already got logged in here, I may have to call it quits after we beat Vanilla. And then come back at a later date. Because I'm not familiar with Iceborne. And, you know, if you watch the episode where I was sort of meandering around the Elder's Recess, it's gonna be probably twice as bad as that, because I know the Elder's Recess, I know the layout of it. I was just sort of pissing around trying to get all the materials and sort of make the whole map, make the map complete best I could anyways. But I am not familiar with the Iceborne DLC worlds, and you know, particularly in that you're gonna not necessarily starting from scratch, because you're jumping into master rank. It's kind of like you've got all this armor built up, but it's like none of it really matters anymore, because you've gone from high, you know, low rank to high rank, or from high rank into master rank, and all that old armor that you've been building all this time, you know, the highest version of that armor basically is equivalent to some of the weakest armors that you build in high rank or in master rank. So this is not Devil Joe, this is Basil Geese. As you can see, the most dangerous part about Basil Geese is the fact that it drops these little they're bomb pods, but they kind of look like I don't know if you've ever had a skin tag or not, but they kind of remind me a little bit of like a very bad case of skin tags, where they're just sort of poking out. Except in this case, Basil Geese controls the skin tags and drops them like little bombs, and then whenever you or Basil Geese attack them, they explode. The one nice thing is if you knock over Basil Geese, basically he drops I think Basil Geese is always a she, drops all of her pods. As you can see, there's nothing underneath her body now, and until she grows those back, which will take about a minute or so, she's basically defenseless. Well, not defenseless as she can't do any damage, but the big thing that makes her very dangerous disappears, you know? She can still cart you, she can still do big damage, but again, without her dropping the little bomb pods and then landing on them, and not only you're getting damaged by Basil Geese, I just carted. Not only are you taking damage from that, but you're also taking damage from the bombs, and she'll also breathe fire like she did there, which will ignite the bombs. She's got a tail here as well. You cut the tail, so I'm actually going to remove all of the bombs. For some reason, instead of cutting the tail prior to the bombs, it always cuts it about, I don't know, the 3/4 mark of that tail. But whatever. And I'm pretty sure Basil doesn't get actually damaged by any of the bombs she keeps running into. So I don't think you can actually like time out this fight and just let her do damage to herself. Okay, you see how I knocked her over and all of her little things go away? I'm trying to get rid of her tail. Because in addition to the tail swipe she does, that's extra bombs that you can get rid of. Stop. The KO thing is definitely, you know, thing you gotta watch out for. You can make, I think, some Diablos' armor will help you prevent KOs. But in the same regard, Diablos is a very difficult fight to do because that's one of its main gimmicks, is creating a state of KO when it runs into you, and then usually it follows up with a killing shot of some sort. Yeah, but she's a dive bombing monster, so we'll eventually get to the point where she flies up in the air, starts dropping bombs on top of you, and then if you follow her movement, eventually she'll come down and dive bomb you and explode all those little bombs. Like I said, she's difficult, but she's difficult only because you have to spend a lot more time evading attacks than actually attacking her. Otherwise, this fight isn't too terrible, I don't think. It's just that, you know, when you're me, this is the attack I'm talking about, where she's dropping bombs on you and then she dive bombs you. Pretty sick. I don't know. The roar is pretty terrible. That's a big girl roar. I'm pretty sure you'd have to have level 4, or more than likely it's probably level 5 armor. I'm sorry, earplugs, in order to negate the roar. So it's pretty significant. You can see we've already tripped. This is the 3rd trip for Basil Geese. So, not hard. She doesn't stay down long, but it's not hard to trip her. And then, you know, again, when she trips, she loses all of her little bomb pods. And that, of course, means that you don't have to worry about them for about 30 seconds to a minute. And that gives you time to cut her tail, which you'll see doesn't completely eliminate all the little bombs on her tail, but eliminates most of them. She's still got about a half dozen or so. That's a stomp. Maybe a dozen. It is sort of surprising that Basil Geese's main theater of attack is this, you know, on the ground, dropping bombs, tackling you, stomping you. It's sort of the opposite of the way you fight Rathalos, where his fight is primarily in the sky, like 50-50 sky land battle. And you want him to be on the ground because it makes it easier to fight, but meanwhile Basil doesn't care that it's on the ground because she just fucking goes, fuck you, you fainted. Big damage.